Hello everyone, this is Schmitty300 and welcome to Golftopia. This is a relatively new release, came out July 21st. This is a golf course tycoon simulator. It is a spiritual successor to Simgolf by Sid Meier back in 2002. This is a game that fans of that game and fans of the genre have been waiting for years, close to 20 years in fact. Simgolf 2 was in high demand, but never materialized. Simgolf was definitely a game that was ahead of its time, had an excellent user interface and an excellent theme, and it was very well done, especially for the time around it was actually completed. And this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. I will be the first to admit that when I first saw screenshots for this game and a few trailers, I was not entirely sold. This sci-fi kind of futuristic theme you see here just wasn't really my jam, and I kind of dismissed it and moved on. But then when it was released, there was some content put on YouTube, and it turns out that you can make as traditional a golf course as you want. There's a couple of sci-fi things that you can't really get away from, that transport tube system you see there being one of them. But most of the other gadgets you see are completely optional. So I've made a couple courses so far, two 18-holers, two 9-holes, and just to get an idea of the game and what it's about and how it works, and spent so much time. We've spent a lot of time having some back and forth comment chats with the developer, and figured I miss making content. I might as well make a video or two or a series, and if he wants to check it out and hear what I have to say, that'd be fantastic. He's been so good about being part of the community and responding to all the comments and criticism, and incorporating many of the things that we've requested or think we'd like to see, and also saying there's a lot of things that we are hoping to see that he has said, you know, keep an eye on the next patch or something like that. You know, you may be pleasantly surprised, or you may be excited about the next one, kind of thing. So he's given no spoilers, but very responsive and very active in the community. So I'm very excited to make a course with this and show it with you guys, and hopefully, you know, spread the word. This is a very small company that's made this, and this is a very well thought out and very well done game. So I'd like to definitely give them some exposure if possible. Every little bit helps, right? So, okay, let's get her going here. So here's our map generation screen. Pretty well self-explanatory. You kind of use the gauges here to determine how you'd like your... essentially, it's more of an island we're kind of looking at here than a piece of just a section of land, so to speak. But you can lower the water, and so it's not quite so separated, and we'll take a few hills and mountains down, crank the grass up. Temperature determines the climate you're in. This will be lots of beaches, lots of dirt, lots of palm trees. This will be much more green, grassy, and kind of pine trees theme, which I think I'm going to stick with. I live in Western Canada, so this is the golfing experience that I've had in the 25 years I've played golf off and on. And very much like Simgolf, you start off with a patch of land. This one you get to choose it. I believe from Simgolf you have to just take the center one in the beginning, and then you buy the rest as you go. So let's have a look at what this one does. Not bad, not bad. I think I like a little less water, a little smaller bodies of water. You can very easily make your own bodies of water with the terrain adjustment tool. But let's see what this does. I kind of like that center square, actually, so I think we can work with this. So I'm good with that. All right, next step. 3 levels of difficulty: economic, weed, and membership. Economic determines how much golfers pay you when they complete a hole. Weed difficulty determines how much when weeds appear, how much they're fueled by golfers' complaints. and getting members to varying degrees of membership, varying tiers of membership, requires a few criteria to be met, and then this difficulty will alter how tough they are to make. These two modes, you can pay all your surfaces take money to purchase, and then terrain can also take money to purchase as well. This I'm going to leave off for this particular playthrough, but I'll turn these on, and we'll leave these at normal just for now. Welcome to your very own golf course. Despite what you may have heard, making a profitable golf course is difficult. The faster you build, the more problems you'll have to deal with. This isn't a race, and even a single hole golf course can turn a profit. It's true. Build up slowly and be sure to read the advisory notifications when you see them. Good luck. This will kind of be a tutorial walkthrough. I'm not an expert, but I've played a lot of this game since I bought it last weekend. And so we'll walk through and give a slight critiques here and there, and yeah, see how it goes. So first things first, we need to decide where we're going to put our clubhouse and then our first hole. So let's see here. How do we want this course to be laid out? Kind of do a clubhouse here. We could easily do a hole like that, and then even like a par 4, and then maybe a second par 4 right here for hole 2. I think I like that. I think that's what we'll do. Pardon my phone, I'm gonna turn that off. Alright. So we'll go to the golf structures and we'll throw in a clubhouse right there. Perfect. So again, there's a couple sci-fi things you can't really get away from. The clubhouse is definitely one of them. I've come to appreciate it. It's a take on Simgolf. It's not a clone. So they have their own spin. I've seen a couple comments of people who don't really think it's necessary or don't think they want it there, and well, then maybe this game isn't for you. I thought the same way, and then I picked it up and tried it, and it's so well thought out that not liking the particular theme necessarily, I don't think is reason to not get this game. If you're a fan of Simgolf and you wanted to scratch that itch, then this is definitely what you want to pick up. Okay, so let's. I'm gonna put the green in the hole under this tree, and then I'm gonna put the tee. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. How far? Oh, okay, 333. That's okay. So there's our par and our length. I'm gonna do a rock theme for this particular hole. So let's get some fairway in here. So you can change the size of your paintbrush, so to speak, and a fantastic mechanic given in this game is only a couple of particular items or placings require the use of the grid system. Everything else is completely freeform, like painting, and you can tell if you want to put down fairway, you can tell it to not paint over certain things or paint over everything, however you want it to work. I don't believe trees and rocks count. They'll always go around those, if I'm not mistaken. So let's do a simple fairway like that, and then as you can plainly see, there's the trajectory of how most golfers will follow. Okay, so I'm going to do a bunch of rocks here. So let's go like that. It's a slight dog leg left. And sure. There's only a couple iterations of the natural obstruction or objects, but there's a lot more coming, which I'm excited to see what he comes up with. All right, let's get a little bit more space over here. And we're going to paint all of this fairway. But we're going to... So before we add our hazards, let's... so those who have played Simgolf know that there's the option to click, and it gives you a good sample of golf shots from the location you pick. So if you pick the tee, it'll give you, I think it's 10 or so, that to tell you where they'll land based on their skill. If they have all 3 attributes, or they have missing length, or they're missing accuracy, or missing imagination, they'll tell you based on a color code where those balls are going to end up. This game has taken that and done it one better. We do actual test holes, so we'll spend actual 10 simulated golf shots, or golfers. And red is low skill, orange and yellow are average skill, and green is high skill. So there we go. We got the best score is 3, the worst score is 5, and out of the 10 golfers, the average score was par. And that will always be different, so we'll do it again, and we'll get a different result. So we can see where most people are going to land. They'll land in the middle of the fairway if they don't hit the rocks. Four and 5. Okay, so we're around par, or an average of 4.1 over 20 golfers. So that's pretty good. So let's get a little bit mean. Let's put a fairway bunker right there, and let's make this green relatively small. This is a pretty straightforward hole. I'm kind of wrap it around the tree a little bit. And because it's a small green, I won't make too many changes, excuse me, to the hills here. So you can, this is the terrain altering mechanism, and it is fantastically done. You can change the size of what area you want to adjust. You can set the height. The red line is sea level, which is a fantastic addition. And you can also determine how strong your clicks will be. So if you were to take it down to here and crank it up to here and hold the button down, you'd hit sea level, or if you're going down, you'd hit sea level pretty darn quickly. But we're gonna try leveling it out and see how that works. So let's ease up on the strength. And if you also hit Alt and click, it'll snap to whatever the height is of an average height of these cells you've highlighted. So blue is where you are, and the orange ring is where you take it to. So we'll up the height a little bit just to show you. And you can kind of go like that. And that's on a very weak paint strength. So in this case, we want to flatten this green out. Is it already flat? I think it is already flat. Can't quite get to ground level with the camera, which might be nice at some point. Sorry, a little bit. The camera is good. Can't say it's great quite yet. You know what? We're just gonna leave the green. And a fantastic part of the terrain altering mechanism is that nothing is final until you actually accept it. And if you've screwed something up or went too deep or whatever, you can hit cancel and just start fresh from how it is you went in. Okay, so that's a pretty good. Let's see what they do now. Through the sand trap. There's a few people that need some help here. What do we got here? 3 and 6. It's still average of par. Okay. I think I'm pretty good with that. I'm going to put a couple more rocks down. Too big. Let's do that. Let's get some dirt down, but not cover the fairway. Oops, I didn't mean to cover the sand trap. Let's fix that. And let's do a little bit more dirt over here. And we'll get some cut rough. So this will be, so there's fairway, there's cut rough, and then there's also grass, which is essentially thick rough. I would really like to see a few more varieties of surfaces in this game. Thinking back to Simgolf, there's the firm fairway, there was gross, there was what else was there? There was like the rough sand trap. There was pot bunkers. You can make pot bunkers in this game, as you can use a terrain tool, and you can lower a sand trap to be a pot bunker. So that would be not necessary, but a few other varieties would be nice. Even like a firmer green surface, because based on the climate, you might have, I'm playing in the lowest temperature possible, so it'd be nice to have surfaces that actually reflect how cold it is, and or maybe it's already built in. I don't know. I'm not certain actually. Okay, so I'm gonna do a little bit of small cut rough around. No, not over the fairway. Just around the fairway like this. Just a little bit. Hope Bob Ross. There's no mistakes, just happy accidents. And I think I'll fill in the rough here, actually. All right. I think I like this. So the key to getting positive results, very much like Simgolf, the key to getting positive ratings and such, and positive thoughts from golfers in this game, is to give them, the most common way is to give them hazards and things to avoid. And then when they successfully do so, they'll say things like, oh, gotta watch out for that bunker, or there's so much water. But if they avoided it, then they'll do a positive thought. If they hit it, they'll get a negative thought. And the worse the hazard, the worse the thought is going to be. So if they go into the rough, it's like a -2. But if they go into the water, it's like a -9 or something like that, or depending on the golfer itself. So I think this is a pretty good start. Maybe a couple of trees. It looks kind of... Let's do some bushes, actually. Let's get some bushes down here. So just like the rocks, there's a variety of trees, which is good. There's some palm trees. There's some... there's this one, which is pretty cool. I think that's... I'm not up on my trees and plants, so I couldn't tell you what they're called. I would personally love to see... This is about as slender a... colder climate tree gets. Palm trees always are very skinny. But they have the large leaves at the top. I would love to see some kind of a northern climate tree that is about half this width, maybe even a bit taller. Would be really nice. Like some oak trees or something like that would be kind of nice. Unless, I mean, there very well could be them, and I'm just completely... I mean, this could be an oak tree. I just don't even realize it. But I love something that's a bit thinner, but also has that like this, I guess you'd call it Christmas tree style, or I guess, yeah, the pine tree style, but just a bit skinnier. I'm getting very picky, obviously, but I'm just saying what I like to see. And I think we'll put a bit of cut rough around the green, just to... Okay, I think I like that. Oh, we're gonna put bushes down. Yes. All right, let's put one there, one there. There, pink, and a couple more rocks too. I am definitely self-admitted perfectionist, so for those that just want me to deal with it and open the hole already, this might not be the playthrough for you. I like to make these things as good as I possibly can on the first try. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So let's do one final test. The rocks will be a hazard, but they can also, if they hit them at the right angle, will actually keep them on the fairway. Oh, now it's much easier. Okay, one more quick one. One more quick one. So not many people are actually landing and stopping in the bunker. I think if this is still way below par, I'm going to put another bunker right here. Yeah, okay. We're going to make this a bit harder now. Alright, if you wanted to get close to that green, you're going to have to drive past these guys. Okay, one more and then I'll open it, I promise. I promise. So this game is also played on a 24-hour clock, and there's night and day cycles. So one of the things you have to do is make sure that the golfers can see when they play. You know what? I'm okay with that. Starting them off with a birdie, starting them off with a really hard hole is just going to piss them off. We don't want any of that. So we have to put down some lights. And the lights also, whenever they're within the range given by that blue circle there, that charges their golf ball, which is glow in the dark. And I think it just, so the sun just set, and you can see a key that I really, really like is this bright outline of all of your surfaces. I think it's perfect, especially when you're just, I don't know, it's pretty and it's useful, and I think it's awesome. So yeah, okay, so we're going to open this hole. All right, and then we'll subsequently open. Oh, I forgot to put on the rest of the lights. Sidetrack so bad. Light posts do act as an obstacle, so the golfer can very much hit it if they do by accident. You don't have to light up the entire hole. It's certainly probably recommended, but not necessary. So we'll put another light back here. There we go. Okay, now it's open. And then we subsequently open up the clubhouse. Open golf course. Once you open your golf course, you cannot close it again. You will begin paying upkeep on structures and groundskeeping. Exit. There we go. So, in Simgolf, golfers and people will just kind of show up out of the clubhouse, just kind of at random, with no real explanation. Here they arrived in a hovercraft, or a transport pod of some kind, and something that looks like it's kind of a Starcraft or something like that. The original, because I'm old like that. So we'll keep an eye on... Yeah, see, everyone's hitting the bunker over there. I may want to adjust that. I don't think they're going to be able to hit... I don't think these leaves here will be in the way of hitting it, so... very much like Simgolf, you can also play this as your own professional, and you gain skills as you play and get your game up. So we can click on one of the golfers. We click on Alexis here. So go to the other, and this is what her thoughts are so far. So the first hole will often come with this one, and so this gives her a boost of 8 in her mood. So she obviously noticed the rocks, but managed to avoid them. She hit into the rough, I think, just past the sand trap. So she hit it there. Then she got out. Then she made... She also, these aren't necessarily in order. Then she made sure that she avoided the bushes and or the thicket. She saw the sand trap and avoided it. She enjoys the golf course, and on her first shot, or at some point, she's on the fairway. So these all add up into the golfer's mood, and then these thoughts also translate into the rating of the golf hole. Down here, it tells you if it's increasing or not. And you've got these different levels of difficulty and lighting and that kind of thing. And these are the most common ones. Now you'll notice as well that when you go into here, these are affecting the golfer's mood between, 3 and 8 kind of thing. But when they come into here, a positive thought is basically just, this is the frequency at which it's thought, I think, like how many times. And then those add up to give you the rating, and the rating is important to get awards for certain holes. not unlike Simgolf, where they get like the forest hole when there's a lot of trees that the golfers like, and that kind of stuff. So we all want to make sure that the whole hole isn't too easy or too hard, but it needs to be a challenge, and you need to also make sure your holes have a lot of variety too. Well, that was a good bounce. So we'll have to keep an eye on this, as this sand trap seems like it's going to be front and center for most of the golfers here, unless they try. You know, that's not a very big gap, is it? So these guys up here also give you some important read. Yeah, that's going to have to be changed, I think. So the first one tells you where most of the complaints take place. So if a golfer does complain, it tells you where and the frequency. The ball landing overlay is, I love the idea. I think I would prefer that this system is adjusted in some fashion. What I mean is, it's great to know where the ball lands, but it seems like if it lands there, it just goes red. And then the orange and yellow are kind of, you know, I mean, because like, I know that the golfers are mostly going to land in here. That's pretty obvious. It's much more, I would find it much more useful to have a much more specific areas. Maybe not using a grid system, maybe more of like a dot system or something like that, where the ball lands and or where it stops. So this is a good idea. I don't think it's as helpful as it could be. I'll just leave it at that. This tells you where your daily expenses are coming from. A similar grid system. And then there's the weeds. So I will show you quickly those over here. So there's some here. They're these nasty looking purple things. And that's that. So we'll start with this and keep an eye on the rating. That's the mood. So it's doing pretty well so far. Golf hole ratings fluctuate quite a lot and quite frequently. I've had a hole that was rated about 140, and then I built a couple more holes, and next thing I know, I go back and it's down to like a 35. It seems like if a couple of groups of golfers come through that have a bad round or aren't skilled enough to play the hole properly or well, then a lot of those negative mood adjustments will affect the rating quite a bit. So, and if the rating goes down, you have an award on a hole, you can lose the award. Okay, I've talked enough for one episode. I think I'll call it there, and on the next episode we will keep an eye on this again and get into some decorations, talk about the prestige items, and get maybe a couple more holes built. So thanks for joining me, and look forward to seeing you again. And as always, be kind, be strong. This time, this day and age, you need to make sure you be safe and be awesome. Thanks, everyone.